How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with a re-review. I don't do a lot of these. But I kind of wanted to do this one for a couple different reasons. One, this beer was one of the most polarizing beers when it originally came out. It was, what, 2.5 years ago, I believe this came out? I think Dogfish had put their dates on here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, 2.5 years ago. This bottle is from October 20th, 2015. It is Dogfish Head's Higher Math. This is a golden ale brewed with chocolate and sour cherry juice, and it's 70% alcohol by volume, brewed by Dogfish Head Brewery. Very polarizing beer. I remember originally doing the review of this beer, and right around the same time I did it, Chris from Beer Geek Nation, when he was doing beer reviews, did it right around the same time. He thought it was absolute filth, floor and filth, disgusting. I actually kind of really dug it. And in the comments on both mine and his, and other people did it too, but those are the two that came to mind because we had a conversation about it, was pretty much the same thing. It was very polarizing. Some people dug it, some people hated it, and it was one of those beers that was just one of those things. Either you loved it or hate it. You know, I just kind of forgot about it. And then a viewer of mine, Raining on the Parade, he's pretty active in the comments for me, but a lot of other beer people and some of the kind of group chats that people do and stuff like that. So anyway, he picked this up the other day and he's like, dude, I want you to re-review this. I'm not going to tell you what he thought about it. He can do that down below. But he wanted me to re-review it, and he's like, do you have any left? And I said, no, but I know where to get some. Lo and behold, I got one. Well, there's a bunch of them, so I can keep doing this for a couple of years, but here we go. We'll higher math. Other than what I already said on here, it has on the side here, celebrating 20 off-center years with luscious chocolate cherry birthday cake in liquid form. Label-wise, actually really enjoyed it. I dug it when it originally came out. I still do. Nice kind of bright neon danger cap. The Dogfish Head does oh so well to let you know that you're getting in something that's a bit higher ABV than you probably should be. Give it a pour. I did not watch my old review of this. I don't want to influence my own self watching it. So we're going into it. If I say different things, well, I mean, it's, you know, 2.5 years old. We'll see what happens. From memory, it looks like it pours essentially the same. There was a little bit of a head there, kind of khaki in color, dissipated super quickly. 17% sour cherry juice. You're not expecting much there. It's left with like kind of an iced tea vibe to it. It's pretty much what I'm seeing here, just rich raspberry kind of iced tea vibe. So, yeah. What does she look like? She looked like a beer. Let's get a nose. I think that smells pretty fucking good. Okay, first thing that jumps out to me, Raisinets. You're starting to get that kind of beautiful, aged, big, barley wine, English style kind of raisinettiness that I love so much. Your chocolate covered raisin, it's in there. It's not the biggest component. No, it's the biggest component in there probably right now, nose-wise, but it's like 51% to the other 49%. It's not super in the lead. You're getting that kind of powdered cakey chocolate. I remember getting that on the original one as a soft cocoa powdery kind of chocolate thing. It kind of lends you to kind of fluffy cakiness, what you're going for here, the kind of chocolate cake, cherry cake thing. You are getting that cherry juice, that sour cherry juice, and I don't think it's changed much at all in the beer. I feel like it smells exactly the way it did when I originally reviewed the beer, which is a soft, slightly tart kind of cherry juice. Not much to it. Like, you had a couple cherries and you mash in a couple of the unripened green ones. You got a little bit of kind of tartness to it, and that was pretty much it. Nothing over the top. Yeah, but that raisinette thing is just mashing so well with that kind of soft cocoa powder chocolatiness to kind of give you this beautiful kind of raisinetty breadiness. That smells pretty damn fucking good. Not much as far as booze, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it smells sweet, it smells big, but I'm not getting much heat. Let's dive in. Cheers. It's so sweet. It's super sweet. It's super sweet. It's 17%. what are you going to do? This is where kind of personal perception, and not just personal perception, but evolution or changing palates come into play. This is too sweet for me. 2.5-year-old me, 2.5 years ago, I'm not saying 2.5-year-old me as in I was 2.5 and drinking 17% bombers. I mean, 2.5 years ago me, probably would be okay with the sweetness. So that in of itself, I have to actually sit here and kind of be like, okay, I've changed along with the beer. I know that's happened. And that's okay. It's super sweet, but at the same time, I'm diving into a 17+% chocolate cherry cake ale. I expect it to be super sweet. It's just still, I've had 17% beers that haven't come off the sweet, or they've hidden the sweetness better. But yeah, it's very sweet. Second sip should go down a little better. It's giving me like Santa Claus had a baby with like the Avery Grand Cru. It's that kind of level sweetness where if you age the Santa Claus for like, you know, maybe 5 to 10 years and you start to get those rich raisinetty tones. And then you got that Grand Cru, which is super high in ABV. You kind of blend them both together. That's what I'm getting from a kind of ale, like big barley wine style ale vibe, along with that kind of age component to it. The cherry portion of the show is still definitely there. That's melded with the sweetness, and now it's a big syrupy cherry Coke kind of thing going on, but more syrup than actual like the actual seltzer water died out, and you're just getting more syrup than you should kind of sweetness and cherryness. It's so big. It's so sweet. And then you get that chocolate component. You know, it's still nice and powdery and creamy, and it's kind of weird. I've never really had that in a beer this old. Not that it's crazy old. It's only 2.5 years. But it's nice. It's fun. I can get down with it. But yeah, this is, I actually think I like it new. Pump the brakes there. Let's rewind. I know myself from 2.5 years ago like this new. Then I am enjoying this now. I thought it had a bit more kind of brightness and not. It's almost like it's gotten sweeter. Again, I know that's me, but to me, it's gotten way sweeter and way bolder and way bigger. Now, there's bottle variants involved. There's kept. You know, how was this kept? It was on a shelf. I didn't take care of it. I'm pretty sure it was kept pretty well. And like I said, I've changed, but this is just too sweet for me. This is like a 12-ounce beer that I should share with like 6 people. That's how I feel about this beer. So yeah, how do I put this? Do I hate it? No, I don't hate it. I still find it interesting, even though I don't like it as much as I did when I originally had it, which is really weird for me. If you know me from anything, you know aged beers are my jam, and usually when you're talking about beers like these, especially beers, that's what my thing was. I was like, okay, this is going to end up kind of mellowing out and becoming something that's a bit more universally okay for people to kind of be okay about. For me, this has kind of gotten a little bit too distant for me. It's just kind of age, and not in the wrong direction, but in a different direction than I enjoy, which is weird because age is usually pretty much a evener of a beer. It's going to always kind of go in a specific direction. Age is going to take a beer and throw those raisinetty things that I love so much in there, but kind of mute everything else, and not necessarily, well, mute's a bad word, kind of bring down, kind of lower the volume on a lot of the more sharper edges of it. And while I think some of the edges might be softer, I think the sweetness never went anywhere. If anything, it went up. And that's the one thing I think it should have died on here. So I actually still don't hate it. I'm actually really enjoying the fact that I'm actually opening this and drinking this. I'm not going to drink this whole bottle. This is not going to be drank tonight. This is going to get file 13. I'm not going to say the word because I'm not going to be one of those people. But it's still interesting and still fun. It's still fun to try and experiment and see where the beer goes. I mean, each sip I take, it's easier because you kind of acclimate to that sweetness. But it's not necessarily boozy up here. It's boozy in here. I'm getting a bit of that kind of warmth and seal heartburn when I give it a swallow. Yeah, it's all right. It's fun. It's interesting. It's not a good beer in the general sense of the world, but it's good in an experimental kind of way, in a fun way, in a kooky way to try it and see how it's aged and see how it's kind of changed and just see how beers can be made and be pushed to the extreme. So, yeah. Wouldn't stand by my original review. Well, let's again rewind. A lot of rewinding in this one. I stand by my original review. I believe what the way the beer was and the way I enjoyed beers at that time. I totally enjoyed it. But the way I am now and how this beer is aged, we've kind of gone in opposite directions. Let's put it that way. Yeah, we're at our 20th class reunion, and I'm doing well for myself. She's been arrested 15 times, and it's not going good. But still kind of hot in a kind of, slutty kind of way or something. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it's fun. It's interesting. I like it as an experience, but as a beer to drink, no. Value and availability, I think it's like $13-14 for a bottle for me. That's kind of not bad for what it's trying to do for you and what it's trying to present. Yeah, I still find these on the shelves by me, so take that for what it's worth and leave you with, if you like what will you like this. If you like Santa Claus, if you like the high ABV Dogfish Head stuff, if you like the Avery high ABV stuff, if you want fucking rocket fuel, high octane, hair on fire, kind of barley wine monster shit, you'll like this. So there you go. Another review in the books. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to see me doing the podcasting stuff. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a big, huge chocolate cake right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.